Good morning and welcome to RadioWillingdon.com. This is the first show for Sportanarium. I'm Lakey and this morning I'm joined by Arv, Richie and Steve for this very exciting experience. This first show for us. We're all really excited to be here. Do you guys want to introduce yourself? Hello, Arv.
Hello, my name's Arv Mittoo. I'm an ex-professional fighter. You know, I had 100 fights, and I'm now retired. Been retired for the last 15 years. You know,
brilliant.
You know,
and also we got Richie. Hello, Richie. You there, Richie?
Hello. Yep, I'm here. Richie. I'm mad boxing fan. Bit of a footy fan as well.
Excellent. And also, sorry,
been into the boxing. Sorry, go on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Go on.
Yeah, just been a boxing fan as long as I can remember. But I'm a bit, what's the word with it at the minute? I'm a bit lost with it all at the minute. But I'm sure we'll hear all about that at some point in the show.
Yeah, I think we've got a few things to talk about on that front, haven't we, with an upcoming fight that's recently been announced. And also we've got the wonderful Steve. Are you there, Steve?
I'm here. I'm all good. I'm a Crystal Palace fan.
Yeah, someone has to be. Yeah.
Someone has to be for the best part of 40 years for my sins, and an avid boxing fan. And I'm just excited to be in the company of someone like Arv. To be fair,
yeah, I must say, I've got to agree with you there.
Oh, thank you, guys. That's nice. That's very nice of you all. You know. Yeah.
What I will add tonight is obviously Arv is on holiday with his family in not so sunny Wales. I believe it's been raining there quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you know he's actually tell us the story. Obviously you've snuck outside, I believe, haven't you?
Bro, yeah, I snuck out because I wasn't 100% sure what was going on. Richie, I know you, Lakey, I know that I was going to be on your show, but I thought it was going to be sort of next week, you know, and. I wasn't 100% sure it was going to be now, but I knew that you wanted me on there, and I didn't know it was going to be now. You see?
Yeah, we like to surprise you, mate. We like to surprise you. You see?
Yeah, but no, but you know, I don't let you down. You know, I mean, everybody. I couldn't talk to you in the caravan because the walls are so free. So what I thought I'd do was sort of go out and talk to you guys from here.
We're pleased to have you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, and I'm very pleased to be on your show. You know, on the show.
It's all of our shows, mate, because this is going to be the weekly thing. Obviously, what's going to happen is over the next few weeks, we've got some very exciting stuff going on. We've got tonight we're going to speak to Arv about your career, Arv. And then
brilliant!
In the next few weeks, we've got Ebony the Blonde Bomber Bridges who's going to be joining us from Sydney in Australia.
Brilliant!
That's going to be coming up a Q&A. Obviously, I believe she's getting very big on social media, and a lot of got a growing fan base here in the UK.
I've been.
And also, what we've got, Steve,
and also a growing fan of socks as well, I believe.
Yeah, there's the Sockgate scandal.
Yeah, I was listening to a show recorded a couple of days. She was doing a Zoom video to a bloke. I can't remember what his station's called, but she was telling him about her socks and Leeds.
Yeah.
I mean, what I want to say about this new show that we've got here, Sportanarium, is obviously, I mean, I've been talking to you guys a lot over the last few weeks. This is a show that's from, the tagline for it is, it's from the fans and for the fans. So, I mean, hence why, you know, we're really pleased to have you as part of it, Arv, because, you know, you're very active.
Thank you, you know.
Well, you're really active on social media. You're one of those pros that still, you know, you would talk to anybody. You love talking about the boxing. You love interviewing fans. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I really do. You know, I really enjoy talking about boxing. I mean, I know I was an ex-fighter, but I'm a big boxing fan. I've always loved boxing and always loved talking about it on and social media as well. With yourself, Trevor, and Richie, and we all, you know, time flies so quickly. We've been speaking about it for quite some time now, and haven't we over a few years? You know, because time flies so quickly. It's been a few years. We've been talking about boxing on here. But yeah, I'm a great big fan. I mean, I've been retired now, you know, 15 years, and I just enjoy talking about it, especially with you two. I speak to it with with you, like and Richie, and I've done for a very long time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Years.
Yeah.
And that's how this idea came around for Sport and Aerium. You know, we all chat about it. You're the real expert of, because you're the one that stepped between. You know, you're the one who stepped in the ring. You know, you're the one who's taken the blows. Me, you know, I've had a play around with boxing years ago. You know, and I know Richie. You know, you got a gym 5 minutes up the road from you that's run by. Is it Mark Tibbs? I think, isn't it? Runs that one.
Mark Tibbs, yeah. We'll pop my head around the door.
Yeah, you got to get him on the show, mate. You got to get him on.
I know he's a busy bee.
Yeah. But that's how this whole concept's grown, really, isn't it? It's been about us guys all chatting, and that's why I say it's from the fans.
Yeah.
And the idea for this show moving forward is that obviously, you know, we're looking to invite fellow fans onto the station and to the show, and we're hoping to grow it, you know, really grow the show, and hopefully make it something that's really interactive for everybody, and you know, and they can hopefully interact like we are with you, Arv, you know. And that's the idea. While we're talking about this, I mean, later on in the show, Steve's going to talk to us a little bit. It's not just about boxing, I must add that, you know, we're all big boxing fans, but the show's here to you know, to cover all sports. So, you know, football's a big hot potato at the moment, hence why Steve's here. Cause we're going to have a little chat about football, and, you know, obviously the fixtures list has been released for the Premier League. Steve's a big Crystal Palace fan. I haven't got a boo button on my machine because I'm a Brighton fan. But if I did have, you know, I would be pressing that boo button. But, you know, there's no rivalry. Much, but you know, we're going to come September. But you know, I think the new rival is probably Leeds, but I won't go there because we've Steve's lined up Apollo Junction to come onto the show at the beginning of September as well to talk about the football. We're going to have a new football fan zone, which we're going to put together. Steve's going to have a lot to do with that, and it's going to be fans from different clubs coming onto the show and basically, you know, telling us why they feel their team, you know, why they support their team, and how they think they're going to get on in the new Premier League in the new season. So before we move on to all of that, though, if we just do, if you're happy, Arv.
Of course I'm fan of the fan guy.
If you're comfortable hiding outside your caravan and your wife's not going to come out and grab you,
no, she's got. She's gone to bed, and the kids have gone to bed. So you know,
you're all good.
I should be. Yeah, I'm all good. I should be all fine.
This show's we're going to do this for about 3 or 4 hours, so it shouldn't be. I'm joking. It's only an hour. But
oh dear.
What's the temperature like there? Is it really cold? Is it raining? Are you outside?
You know what? I'm outside, and I'm glad it's not raining. You know what I mean? It ain't great. It's been flooding down for the last few nights. Bad on the caravan, but I'm lucky. It's like it was meant that you was meant to have me out here.
Yeah.
On the veranda, having a chat with you guys, because I am shocked.
Well,
it hasn't flooded down.
Well, I'm hoping the next show we get you on, obviously, you'll be in the comfort of your own home. That's the great thing about the show as well. I just want to highlight to everybody that does listen, you know, we're not in a studio. All of us are talking from, well, Arv's in Wales, but the rest of us are in our homes, you know, and we're all coming together through the joy of technology. So if there are any hiccups along the way, then you just bear with us. But these things happen. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play some music. We're going to play a bit of The Who. Just to give us all a chance to catch our breath, and then when we come back, obviously we'll have a chat with Arv about his career. Does that sound good?
Brilliant stuff.
Cool. Okay, we'll play a bit of The Who. Let me press this button and see if it works. Well, that was The Who and My Generation. You boys still there?
Yep.
Good, good.
Yeah,
You can't hear that, can you? You can't hear the music. You're lucky.
No, I can't hear the music.
I just played The Who and My Generation, and I thought that might be quite apt for Arv, because obviously we want to talk about your career, Arv, and
great stuff.
What you've been up to. So, can you just?
Brilliant.
I'll just ask you some questions, because a lot of people you listen to on social media, they talk. They tune into a lot of sports channels and different things like that, and a lot of the feedback is, they don't really get to the nitty gritty. So it'd be really nice if we could just sort of have a Q&A with you, kind of find out about your career. How did you? First question, I'm desperate. I'm sure the boys have got other questions for you as well. But the first question I've got for you is, how did you? What was your early life like? How did it lead up to boxing? How did you get into boxing?
Well, to be honest with you, I just done the amateur boxing to keep myself fit. I had no intentions of going into any kind of amateur boxing. It was more just to keep fit. And maybe a little bit of self-defense sort of thing. Yeah. There was nothing to do with any kind of fighting. I didn't want to do that. All I'd done it was to lose a bit of weight at the time. I was walking around at 12 stones at the time. Yeah. And I just wanted to get fit and just a bit of self-defense. Be able to look after myself. But I had no intentions of going into having any amateur fights or anything. Next thing I know, from 12 stones, with a few months, I got down to sort of 9 stone 12, right. And I'd done a bit of sparring, pad work, and I realised I was pretty good at it. So after that, I ended up fighting, but like I say, it weren't my intention. It was just a case of keeping fit. So I had quite a few amateur fights. I realised I was very good at doing it. So I just carried on fighting. And then,
how old were you around that time? I mean, were you very young? Did you enter late? Or
well, you know what? I always trained to keep fit at a young age. Yeah. Sort of like about 12ish. Right. But I didn't fight till I was about 18, 19. Yeah,
and did you have many amateur fights? Or?
Yes, I had I'd say about 50, not far off 50.
And so you say you did it. Did you do any other kind of sport, or was it just any sort of other combat sport?
Yes, I did. I did as a child. I'd done a lot of martial arts, right. And a lot of martial arts and gymnastics as well. Yeah, yeah. And but it was always just it wasn't nothing I took serious really. Yeah, it was all about keeping fit and trying to just be able to look after myself. Yeah. I had no intentions of becoming a boxer. I really didn't. Right. And with the martial arts as well, what I'd done when I was a bit younger, that was all about self-defense as well. Yeah. But no intentions of taking it serious. Gymnastics, no intentions of taking that serious either. Oh. Just
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you a question, right? So, obviously, you started your boxing career. You had your amateur fights. I know it's going to sound a bit silly, but was you always just going to fight for money, if that makes sense, or was there a goal?
No chance. That wasn't my intention. No. That wasn't my intention at all. Because you know what? I wouldn't have bothered going professional. If I didn't if I didn't think I could have done well after that, I wouldn't have gone professional. I didn't understand the game. I could have done with maybe someone explaining to me how it was, but I had to get into it.
And that's kind of a common thing. You hear that from a lot of especially younger, maybe actually to say younger, it's probably more retired boxers. A lot of them do say that they felt that if they'd had a bit more guidance or the correct kind of guidance when they first entered the profession, so you're saying for yourself that might have been something that was lacking, or was it?
Yeah, listen, I think that if I had maybe what I'd done with myself, I had with the amateurs, I thought I was pretty good to go professional. Maybe I should have left it for a while. And had the right guys to guide me. I mean, I did have a good amateur coach, and he's now an Olympic coach, a fellow called Bob Dylan. He was a very good coach, and he always advised me, don't go with it. But at the time, I didn't take no notice. But I wish I did. I wish I did. I wish I did. It's just one of them things, Richie. Like it's just one of them things,
Really younger, I suppose.
As I said to you, it weren't the Bobby Dylan, was it?
Yeah, Bob Dylan. I'll tell you what, he actually trained Anthony Joshua and a few more other people. He's an Olympic coach now, and I know he's trained a few good pros as amateurs at the England, for the GB sort of thing. But he was my amateur coach, and he was a great amateur coach. And he didn't want me to go pro. But he was, as well? It was a case of I thought I was good enough, but I didn't know how it worked. You know what I mean? It weren't all about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, the money had part of it, but I didn't know how it works. Like, you have a promoted boy, and you have a guy who, the promoted boy sold the tickets.
Yeah.
And you just there to make the numbers up. I didn't realise it went like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like if people don't realise this, the thing you're gonna have two guys, and you don't know who's gonna win, but you always know who's gonna win. You have a loser's corner and a winner's corner, and the ticket man is the ticket boy is the winner's corner, and then the other guy is he's the guy who ain't gonna win. Sometimes there's an upset, but most of the time the ticket boy is gonna win, and people don't understand this sort of thing.
So the odds are kind of stacked against you from the minute you get into the ring.
Yeah,
really,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
especially, listen, especially if you're a knobby knobs fighter like I was.
I was going to say you were a knobby knobs fighter. Yeah,
knobs fighter. Yeah. People were the away guy, so I was away guy.
That's right. People said to me, when they see you in knobby, you was a knobby fighter.
I mean, for people that maybe don't, might be tuning in and don't know who obviously Nobby Knobs is. I mean, do you want to tell us a little bit about Nobby? His stable of fighters, the people that train there.
Yeah. Well, Nobby's fighters, they're all very good fighters, quite tough, hard men. But because of that, there was a documentary done on it actually. Where you fight. We all fight regularly. Yeah. But we just like sort of class the fodder. We just there to make the numbers up, We just there to make.
Was it really? I mean,
you are part of the tradition.
Yeah, without you guys.
I've even heard that. As soon as the referee see you a novice fighter, you lost the fight before you got in and fought.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So on social media, we all talk, and we talk really sort of regularly in terms of every aspect of boxing, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. But I've always wondered, from your perspective, we've chatted about how regular people box, and if you look at your career, sort of 1996 to 2005, you fought 100 fights. That needs to be put into perspective when you look at how inactive some people are.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Chris Eubank Jr. is a prime example. It's just
Steve's got a big thing about the inactivity and the number of fights per year.
No,
I've seen this on Twitter, Steve. So tell us. Carry on. Sorry to interrupt you there, Steve, but I know where you're going with this. So that's okay.
It's just I just want to understand from your perspective, Arv. When you see someone like yourself in your career where you fought so regularly, how inexplicable it can be in this sort of era where people just they've had a fight once in 2 years or 3 years. I just don't understand it.
You know something, guys, and I'm exactly the same. I don't see how you can fight once and don't fight for months and perform well when you've come when you ain't fought for months and you come to fight again. Because to me, in the art of boxing, you need to fight regularly to become a better fighter. Yeah. Because with practice makes perfect, and without practicing, you're not going to become any better than you are without practicing. So you need to practice the art of boxing. You need to fight regular to become a good fighter. Yeah. And if you're not going to practice, you're not going to become a better fighter. You're just going to stay where you are.
Yeah. And
I agree with you. That's something what seems to happen quite regularly, where a person will fight once and he won't fight for months. Some of these top fighters who are good fighters, they'll have a fight, and they won't fight for over a year. Even it seems. I mean, it seems that way. They don't seem to fight regularly like they should fight. And I think if you don't fight regularly, then you're not going to become as good as you could be.
Yeah.
Because the saying, practice makes perfect. It's true. Practice makes perfect. Practicing your craft makes you a better fighter, and you'll become very good at the art of boxing if you practice regular. But if you're not practicing, then your career is just going to stay where it is, and you're not going to get any better, are you? That's my opinion, anyway.
No,
that's my opinion.
Absolutely, no, I agree totally with that one.
Yeah,
I mean, you find that now, don't you, with fighters? I mean, I suppose more with the higher weight. I don't know, is it the higher weight? So,
I mean, Manuel Shah. That's another example.
Yeah, I mean that one's
Manuel
diabolical. This is the one that's potentially fighting Ruiz, isn't it, for the regular WBA title? I mean,
don't get
that one is a total joke to me. I mean,
started on that.
Yeah, I can hear the steam coming out of Rich's ears.
Yeah, I know. It's very strange, and things have changed. Things just get worse. I mean, they've got that many titles, haven't they? To for everybody. I mean, there was a
I don't get how they get ranked.
I know you had a WBC title. Now you have a WBC title, a Super WBC title, a regular champion, a diamond champion,
a gold champion.
Is that many? How many champions are there?
It's getting crazy. I mean,
it's confusing.
A little bit of an off-piece look at it, really.
I mean, you can see from
you've got to. Sorry, I was just going to say you've got to wonder about the people that are behind some of these fighters. So the lack of acumen with some of the guidance and kind of sort of promotions. Like they're in the ear of these people saying, oh yeah, you're a top boxer, you deserve this, you deserve that, and it makes you wonder how if someone's fighting 3 or 4 times a year, that no one can sort of stand back and say, oh, hang on a second, if I fight that regularly, I'm going to earn more money than messing around trying to create the one fight that I can't get because of all the red tape that's in the way.
That's right. Yeah, it's so true. Guys, when you think about it, let me say something. When you think about it, originally there was only one belt, wasn't there? The WBA. That was the original belt. There was no other belt. Yeah. And then shortly after that belt came the WBC belt. Yeah. And then you add the IBF. And then the WBO. I mean, now...
And then you're also forgetting the WBF and the WBU.
And the IBU.
These ones... That's right, which are followed now. Yeah. There's that many titles now, and I know, money for every... I mean, money for everybody now, isn't it? With the amount of titles on the line now, to make a few quid.
And is that exactly what it's about? These titles, the proliferation of titles is purely because it's money.
I mean, it is money because, guys, don't forget, not only is there them belts, you got stuff like the WBO Intercontinental, WBA Intercontinental, IBF Intercontinental. You know what I mean? I mean, guys, there was even a belt. There was an area belt for 10 rounds called a British Masters title.
Oh, I remember
that's gone now. I think the guy who used to sanction that belt, he fell out with the board or something. I'm not too sure, but they don't sanction that Masters belt anymore.
What I find really tragic about all of these intercontinentals and all this kind of stuff is young fighters coming through now. When you look at, especially sort of like the Sky Sports, and am I allowed to say that? Probably not, but Sky Sports and Matchroom and. What's happening is a lot of these young fighters now, instead of maybe going the traditional route, was where they used to maybe go for like an area title, and then they would go for the the British, the Commonwealth, the European.
That's what it used to be, wasn't it? Area British.
I mean, I know we're all old boys now. We're getting old, so maybe But for your, that was the way. It was the traditional way. Go European, then go for the world title.
That's the way. I mean, guys, when you think about it, you had in my area, it's the Midlands. I don't know if around your end, but them sort of titles was like winning British titles, weren't they? The area titles. Yeah. Where I'm from the Midlands, so you had the title called the Midland title. Yeah, that was like winning a British title. I don't know what it would have been if you would have had an area title round your way, guys. But,
where I'm from, we got the Southern area titles. There
you go, Southern area title back in the day. That would have been classed as like a British title, but I bet it means nothing now. No one really hears them.
The English title as well. Was it the English title?
Oh yeah, the English title.
Yeah.
They still fight for the English title, you know.
They still fight for that. They still fight for the English title. You know, I mean, guys, to have a British title would be fantastic, but now nobody's not bothered about it, and that's like a prestige belt. You know, that's the best one of them all.
Yeah.
You know, but no one,
Lonsdale outright.
The Lord Lonsdale belt. No one's
there used
bothered
to
about
be a
it now.
real pride for a fighter to own the Lonsdale belt outright. And that's just gone.
It seems all everybody wants to do now is win a world title. They're not bothered about nothing else. Other belts.
Nowadays, as Richie touched on earlier, with the proliferation of all of the WBFs, IBUs, IBOs. You know, there's so many. But for the
WWE,
for new fans to the WWE, for new fans to the sport, it must be really confusing. You can see why people. We're all on social media. We do the boxing chat. And I hate the term casual. Yeah, I mean, I don't like when people throw out that you're a casual, but I kind of understand how that comes about, because there are so many titles now. People must get confused. They must look and think, well, that guy's got the IBO super middleweight title, so he is a world champion. I guess on paper he kind of is, but in reality, if you've got Joe Bloggs, who's the IBO champion at super middleweight, and I don't know, we'll talk about Alvarez. Canelo. We'll come to Canelo.
Don't forget the silver belt.
Oh, and the silver belt.
Yeah. I mean, guys, when you think about it, if you look at Anthony Joshua, for instance, when they're telling you about his belts, they'll tell you that is the IBF, WBA, and WBO, and the IBO belts there as well. But you notice they don't mention. They don't mention it. No, they don't, do they?
And I suppose it is confusing, because at the moment, again, you've got Anthony Joshua, who's I suppose we've got the unified champion.
And you know something. Go
on off.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, something. His WBA belt. Mm-hmm. It's the WBA Super Champion.
Yeah.
So there'll be another heavyweight champion fighting for the WBL.
Well, we've got that, haven't we? We've got the amazing Manuel Char, who hasn't fought for I think it's nearly 3 years, Richie, since the guy's had a fight.
Yeah, his last win was against Ustinov, a points win over Ustinov,
which was 3 years ago, nearly. And
3 years ago.
The guy's been inactive. He's probably been off doing whatever he does, modelling or, bodybuilding. But it's just...
James Bond villain.
Laying in bed getting porky and, he's now realised he's got to train and get ready to fight John Ruiz. But when it comes down to the crunch, I mean, for Ruiz, that you can see why he would find that fight attractive, because it's a WBA regular.
That's right.
So for him,
which is started, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a pile of pants, isn't it? Really, I mean,
it is a pile of pants. Even though that WBA is a main belt, isn't it? I mean, when you think about it, the WBA belt was there before anything else.
Yeah.
And now they have this WBA Super, but the WBA belt was the first belt before anything else, wasn't it? And now,
I mean, Ali, you think back to the great Ali and people like that.
Yeah. So that belt what Ruiz is fighting for is classed as a lesser belt, even though it's the belt what was the original one. It's still classed as a lesser one, because you got Anthony Joshua with the WBA Super, so that is classed as higher than what he's fighting for. But it's crazy.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about all these, go on.
Let me give you a quick example, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember a fighter called Damon Haig. I think he was from Derby.
He had the WBF world title. Yeah.
Damon Haig fought a guy named Wayne Pinder. I think it was a rematch or something like that, right? They built it as a world, basically a world title, right?
Yeah.
WBF, something like that. Damon Haig won the fight. I think he defended it or whatever, right? He fought Carl Froch. I don't know if you guys remember.
Of course,
you're going back some now. Yeah.
But the British and Commonwealth,
can I just say something on Carl Froch?
Carl Froch, go on.
Does anyone know that he fought in front of 80,000 fans?
I didn't know. That is a really good statistical fact.
If you record this, you might be.
I hope you don't hear that, mate. He'll come after you. He'll come after you for that one.
So the point I was going to make was Haig was at the time he fought Froch was the WBF title holder, right?
Yeah, world champion.
Do you know he was ordered by the British Boxing Board of Control to vacate that title?
I didn't know that.
So that WBF title I know it's another Mickey Mouse title. However,
Yeah.
if it's a world title, how come the British Boxing Board of Control can tell you, no, you can't have it, you've got to vacate to fight for our British title?
But was it a case that was the because obviously when it comes to the board, was it the fact that WBF wasn't a recognised world, we put that in brackets, world title at that time?
Well, that's
just another Mickey Mouse title, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
That's why they've done it. That's why they've done it, haven't they? You know what I mean? It was
all around that time, and you think back to Frank Warren.
But I can also remember certain people billing Haig as an ex-world champion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think. Am I right in saying the guy who had that WBF belt, the one who made it or whatever, who was in charge of it, he's not even alive now, is he? Is he passed away? That's why
that wasn't that the WBU guy? Because the
WBU.
If memory serves, I can't remember the guy's name. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. But he created the because that was around the time Frank Warren one of his numerous promotional companies.
That was Hatton's belt, wasn't it? The WBU, right?
The WBU. That was the one he went on to. They were billing him as. Obviously, he went on and beat Kostya, and that was great. But prior to that, he was defending his WBU title to within an inch of his life. Wasn't he? And I believe then after Hatton, I think, like I said, I can't remember the guy's name. The chief of the WBU. He did pass away. Unfortunately, and then what happened was I think the WBU then kind of went into a bit of an extinction phase, and then what happened was it was bought up, I think, by a South African company or someone in South Africa took over the WBU, because then you had is it Sebastian Rothman?
Yes, I remember very well.
You had people like that, and then it was taken over, and I think it's another one that's just kind of it's fought for very occasionally, just to kind of put it as bill it as a world title fight on a card.
That's right, guys.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that now because it's going to bug me, but. I'm one of those people, you know. But I can't remember the guy's name. But yeah, I mean, title-wise, while we're talking about titles, I mean, we can't fail to. I mean, Richie, I'm sure you've probably got a bit to say on this, but you know, Canelo.
Go
on. With the.
Was that Canelo you guys just mentioned it?
Yeah.
And that's the night ridiculous. Yeah, I mean,
ridiculous. I know the guy is fighting. What's going on with him? You know what I mean? The guy is fighting. The Eubank kicked him with the left hook, knocked him to mark out, didn't he? Or a right hand?
Yeah. He did take him out. I mean, what are people's? I mean, is this just another case of? I mean, obviously he fights. He's still under the Golden Boy banner. Is it? Do you think he's? I mean, the offer was there. I believe. You know, we're not involved in it, but you know, reading the headlines, you know, he could have probably taken on Billy Joe. Which I think
I've got a view on this. I think that this is like being at Christmas where you've got a stocking and you just need a stocking filler, and you've got literally nothing left, you know, at your disposal. You just that'll do. And I think that's clearly a case of it. To be fair,
I mean, guys, let me tell you something. You know, I agree. Canelo is a good fighter, but I've seen him fight guys, but I didn't think he deserved to win, but they've given him the decision. He's one of these guys. If you're not going to knock him out, even if you do enough to win, they're not going to give you the decision because he's a Golden Boy fighter.
It probably goes back to what you were saying earlier, Arv, about when you were fighting for Nobby Knobs. You know, obviously it's a different level, but you know, people that are going, it's always in Vegas, isn't it? You know, it's always around.
It's always around Mexican Day as well.
This is it. So,
yeah.
The people, you know, these guys are going there, but surely, you know, at his level now, what's his record? Is he like 49-1 or something? I can't remember.
Something like 49
I mean, surely,
49. Yeah, that's right. The only one he's lost, isn't it? Is Floyd, and then there's a draw there, and then there's a draw as well.
But
he's only got the one lost.
Two last week, but we won't go in that one.
Yeah,
it should be. So he's got one loss of Floyd. He's got 2 draws now.
Yeah. Because
against Triple G, and both Triple G fights, I thought he lost both of them. Yeah. I didn't think he won any of them. That's my opinion, though. I don't know what you guys think.
I agree. 50 fights, actually. I think he's approaching 60 odd fights. 56 fights. I think he's had.
Oh, is it that one?
On Billy Joe Saunders, guys. I think the biggest problem with him is, and the reason why the fight hasn't been made, I think there's a lot of bureaucracy behind the scenes, and reputation precedes him, and where he's just been he's just been messing around and getting himself in trouble and sort of not towing the line. I think that's costing the matchup, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but it's a shame, really. It's a shame, because he's a very, very good fighter. Billy Joe, very good fighter.
Yeah,
it really is. Yeah.
I mean, if those guys were to meet, who would you pick as a winner? I mean, it would be a fight that everybody would want to see. I'm sure they'd rather see that than. I'm not even going to mention the opponent that's fighting for the super middleweight.
Hey guys, do you know I'll give him a chance? He's got great boxing ability, and I really feel he could give Canelo a good fight.
Yeah, and I think Canelo now.
He definitely make him think, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
make him think.
Yeah. I mean, it should be happening.
As Steve said, I just think Billy's. I like Billy Joe Saunders. I'm a big fan, right? But he's living off that Lemieux win a bit too much now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, he scored Lemieux. All right. Well, yeah, all right, he did. But what's he done since?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it? Though? Isn't it a shame? A very, very talented boxer, and that Lemieux. Oh, he's got world class power. Yes. Oh my word, he's got world class power, and he didn't even lay a finger on. He never even lay a finger on old Billy. Billy boxed him clean, but I have to agree. Lemieux has got world class power.
Yeah,
but
thing is, if that fight gets made, we all know what Rich is doing. He's betting on a draw because he loves a draw.
No, don't talk to me and Richie. Right, the thing was, Arv will back us up here. I mean, when it comes to predicting fights, I think that Richie and I, win the cup.
Yeah, you do have the last couple, haven't you? You got it right, didn't you? The last couple of fights.
I mean, we went against the grain, and we got it right. We got it spot on.
85 quid richer.
Yeah, and I believe Richie. He didn't tell his mate. He didn't. He didn't let me know. Actually.
Listen, I called Rachel Ball from the start. I called her from the start.
Yeah.
And do you guys, tell me something? Do you think crowds not being there and all this and that kind of thing, it helped the referees to give what they thought rather than it made things easier having the crowd not be there? And if the crowd was there, they probably would have gone the other way. I don't know. I think it kind of helped there being no crowds there.
Yeah,
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. The right girl won. The right girl did win. But
you're just bitter off because we called it and you didn't get it right. You're just bitter. That's bitterness.
No.
We can read between the lines here, mate.
Well, you got that fight right. What was the other fight you got right as well?
Jonas.
That's like the Jonas one. I thought she's going to lose, and you looked at she's going to win, and I thought she won.
Yeah, we got that.
She deserved the win. She deserved it.
On this, but arrogance isn't a good quality, and this.
Do you know what? The sad thing is, I don't bet. And I need to start.
Oh no! Yeah, I do like a little flutter now.
Yeah.
No. Well, I'm the same though. I don't bet. Occasionally, I'll put a pound on and win a pound back, and I'm happy with that. I don't really gamble or nothing like that. So.
I bet you're the sort of bloke that puts the pound on the Grand National 100 to 1 and you win, don't you?
I'd like to put a pound on it in that, but. Never happens. Just happy to sort of put a pound on and win a pound back. Have a lottery ticket, the scratch card, put a pound on and win a pound back. And he says, "Do you want another one?" I said, "No, I'm happy to win a pound, and I'm on my way."
Gamble responsibly, folks. Gamble responsibly.
Yes, we can send that message out there now. If you're listening to this, please gamble responsibly. If the fun stops, stop.
Can I ask you another question, Arv, before we talk about this?
You got time for one more question, guys? You got time for one more question? Then I'm going to play some music, and then so get your questions in. Go.
Okay.
So my question to you is: obviously, we're seeing quite a few ex-professionals looking at comebacks, the likes of Tyson and the likes of Nigel Benn, sort of is flirting with the idea. At 46, mate, and if you grow your dreads back as well, could we see, a comeback from Arv Mittoo?
Guys, for one, me, I was just a journeyman anyway. In the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're the backbone. You're the backbone.
So you know what? When I started in professional boxing, it was always in my mind. Once I went professional and fought, when I finished, it finished You don't, it's a very dangerous sport, boxing, and there's always, when you get, there's always these young, fit, and fresher guys that will give you an idea, So when I got into professional boxing, I always had it in my mind. I will do it, and then when the time's right, I will pack it in, and that's what I've done. I've done it when I feel I was all right to move around and get out of the way of shots. When I started to slow down, I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So I made my target. Say again.
I was going to say, your career, you fought absolutely everyone.
Yeah, I was looking at your record.
Yeah, at the time I was even
everyone.
Do you guys remember a guy called Isham Pickering?
Yeah.
He won British Commonwealth European title and challenged for the WBO title. I was speaking to him on WhatsApp the other day, and he says, "Oh, you know what? You fought some guys, man. I was just having a look at your record on BoxRec, and then I didn't realise you fought so many people." He was saying to him, he's a lovely guy, humble guy. I speak to him from time to time on this group. Yeah,
When you talk about that, what was your? I mean, weight wise, what was your?
Originally, I fought at about 9. I even fought at 9'4" in one of my fights. But
the only reason I asked is obviously we had a conversation the other day. Yeah, well, Arv and I had a conversation the other day, and you were talking about your fight with John Joe Finnegan.
Yeah, no, when I fought John Joe, I come in at about 10'9".
Yeah, but how much did he weigh?
John Joe was over 12 stone at the time.
Yeah.
And what it was with John Joe, he sold loads of tickets. And we're good friends. We speak quite often. And he says, "Oh, I'll never forget when you done that. You helped me out because I sold a lot of tickets and I had no one to fight. And you came in at a few hours notice and fought me. And I'll never forget that because I sold a lot of tickets." Yeah. He said he sold a lot of tickets. You know what I mean? And we become good friends. We will always speak quite regularly. Me and John Joe.
Yeah.
It's a shame what happened. But yeah.
What I was going to say quickly, right? I think we've discussed it before. You fought in Dagenham, didn't you, right? Did you also fight on an Audley Harrison undercard?
I did. I fought. I tell you, I fought under all the. I fought. Do you remember a guy who's retired now? Ashley Fearfane.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
He was 5-0 at the time when you fought him.
Yeah, he was 5-0. I fought him on the Audley Harrison undercard. I did. Yeah.
In London.
In
Alexandra Palace. Yeah.
That's right. I hope I can get that fight because I'll upload that one.
And that's another thing I want to say, because you're in. We, like I say, all of us guys chat. This isn't the first time we've talked. People can probably gather that, but you are in the process of trying to get all of your fights together so you can put them on your YouTube channel. So,
yeah, just put them on my YouTube channel, just so that the baddies can watch them.
Yeah, well, I think people do want to watch them, and that's why we're so pleased to have you on the show. And obviously, moving forward, you're going to be part of the show. We've got you on the website, now, so you're there.
Brilliant.
And we're going to hopefully be interviewing a lot of great fighters moving forward. We've got quite a few lined up already, and I won't give away details now because we like to release that on social media at Sportanarium if people want to give that a follow. That would be great. But before we ask any more questions, guys, I'm just gonna play a bit of music quickly, just to give us a few minutes to catch your breath. Then when we come back, we'll have a quick catch up. Because going back to Steve's point about fighters and age, I think that's something we could probably talk about quickly after the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. But I'll just play a bit of music, just catch your breath for a moment, get a drink or something, and then we'll be back after this.
Okay.
have to cut that one out, boys. That was the police and Roxanne, but it seemed that it got stuck. So that is the joy of technology. So, as I mentioned earlier, but so we'll think we give that one up as a bad job. I love technology. Anyway, that was the police and Roxanne, but it's better that we chatted. It's just supposed to be a chat, so we're chat. But anyway, going back to earlier, we were talking about fighters and age, and obviously we've got the Mike Tyson scenario. What are your guys' feelings on that?
Well, my opinion is they shouldn't happen. These guys was heroes in their own time. So why come back when you're old men to want to? Well, again, it's money, isn't it? Got to be. But these guys with the mid lows, you wouldn't think they want to come back and make any more. He's got his money, isn't he?
They didn't learn from Rocky IV, did they? They didn't learn from Apollo Creed, did they? No,
exactly.
Right. I see De La Hoya's name popping up now. He wants to challenge the current champions, right? The last time we saw De La Hoya, he was absolutely annihilated from Pacquiao.
That's right.
However long ago that was. He was absolutely destroyed, right?
That's right.
Pacquiao's still active. Pacquiao was, if you look at Pacquiao's resume in the last 3 fights, right? De La Hoya has not got a chance, and he risked ruining his legacy, tarnishing his legacy.
That's right.
Yeah.
We should leave it as that.
I mean, you think, when was the last time you saw Mike Tyson fight? It was against
Kenny McBride or whatever his name. Kevin
McBride. I mean,
Kevin McBride.
Kevin McBride. I mean, he lost miserably. It wasn't that he lost; he just kind of had no will, did he? He didn't really.
He didn't want to be in the ring.
Yeah.
He didn't. He lost because he didn't want to fight. He didn't lose because he lost. He lost because he gave up himself.
Yeah.
And if you heard the speech after the fight, he turned around and said, "I haven't got the heart for this anymore. I'm just
That's right.
to pay my bills." Which
That's
was
right.
It was so sad because I was a huge Tyson fan.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Me too. Me too, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's an exhibition for charity, then
I think the other issue that you've got to consider is, a lot of people are looking at this as if it's a sort of a circus style event. But I think mentally, if you look at the mental side, quite a few boxers have openly admitted that once they retire, there's a huge gap left in their lives, and they don't have to fill that void. Some go into training, some bring on what they think are sort of proteges and people that they can take under their wings. But if they don't do that sort of thing, there's a huge gap that just eats at them, and hence the desire to come back.
But you know something, it spoils it, doesn't it? It spoils everything that they achieved going into doing all these sort of things. I mean, even to me, Roy went on too long. He went on too long, and then he ended up losing against people he never had lost against.
Yeah. Danny Green being won in one round. Never in Roy's heyday, he wouldn't have even touched Roy. And I don't understand Tyson, because he seems to have a lot going on now with the ranch and with the hot boxing.
That's right. That's right. So what?
I just don't get it.
I don't get it. What do you think his motivation is for coming back? I mean, for Tyson, is it just money? I mean, he can't be. Is it just to prove himself?
I mean, guys, you could say the same thing about De La Hoya. Why is he going to come back and have one if he comes back when he's got a big empire? Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Just like you say about Tyson, he's got a lot of good things going for him. Or Tyson with his hot box station on YouTube, and so why do they want to come back? There's no need, to put yourself back into that situation and get the way you were. It's never going to happen. The fitness he was in. It ain't going to happen. I know we've been seeing him eating some pads and it looks good, but it's not going to hit you back.
No, it's not going to hit you back.
And that's the thing. What's going to happen when he takes one back? I mean,
it baffles me. It really, really does baffle me.
Yeah, same here too. Here too, guys.
I mean,
I've seen Tarver moving about. I've seen Holyfield moving about. I'm surprised. I think Klitschko's a bit more sensible.
Yeah.
Them guys are staying into politics, whatever they do. Is it politics? They're into them. I mean, once you achieve what you achieve, you should leave it as that, and just leave it as that.
Yeah,
and people will remember you for what you achieved. Leave your legacy alone, and leave it as that. Don't come back to spoiling it. I'm coming back to do this, and I'm coming back to do that. What you've done and achieved was fantastic. Don't come back and spoil it now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's my opinion. What do you think, guys? The same thing? Or?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I don't know what the other boys think, but yeah, I mean, I just don't. He's got nothing left to prove, is he? I mean, is it just a case of he's seeing the young guys coming up and through, like the Joshuas and the Furies, and is it in the back of his mind? Is he thinking, I've still got it and I can give these guys a run for their money, or is it just that they just want to stay in the spotlight? I don't know.
Maybe just want to stay in the spotlight because I'm sure them guys have made enough and got enough, and they don't need to be doing that for the money. I think it's like you said.
I mean, why not move into training? I mean, they've got all that skills, all that that knowledge from the previous, from their lives in boxing. I mean, why not pass that on to younger fighters coming through? That's a question I've got for you, Arv. Have you ever thought about training? Passing on that knowledge you've got?
I mean, I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, I have got a trainer's license myself. I've got a British Boxing Board trainer's license. Even though I haven't paid the fees, I did have one. And what's happened is, it's because I got a couple of kids. I realise that it's best for me to do the right thing and be there and help grow them up with the wife rather than leaving them and not getting involved. Because me myself, I didn't really have I didn't spend that much time with my parents. And by the time I was 15 and a half, coming 16, they went home. So I missed I missed quite a bit of my life with my parents, and I've realised I got my own. I want to spend a lot of time with both of mine, and that's why I haven't ended up doing any kind of training. Passing my knowledge on, doing that kind of thing. I mean, maybe at some stage I will want to, but right now I got a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old, and I just want to help with them and be there for them. And if it weren't for that, then I would have been into the training right now, doing that kind of thing rather than not doing it, because it's something I love a lot, as you guys know. We all love talking about. We're passionate about it. All the time.
So your kids weren't born, I suppose, when you were fighting then. So,
no, that's right. And something, guys, on my 100 fights, my lad weren't far off being born, and I said to a member of the British Boxing Board that this is my last fight and I will not be coming back. And you know what he says? He says, Arv, for you to do this is easy money, and I'm sure you'll be back. And that was over. My lad is now 15, nearly 15, and I never came back. I said I didn't, and I never.
You never did. You stuck to your word.
Never came back.
Yeah. And is your lad interested in a career in boxing, or is he?
You know what? Me and him, we do a bit of pad work, and he's very good, But you know what? He plays a lot of roller hockey down Banbury and that, and I'd rather him to stay in that game. You don't have to
yes, I can.
do this game. I done that, so he can do his roller hockey. But you know something? If he did want to fight, I wouldn't stop him, because I don't believe in stopping. I had strict parents, and they didn't make me. Were very strict, and they didn't make me do what I wanted to do. But with my kids, I will never stop them from doing what they want to do. I mean, if my son wanted to box, I would never say no. I will always support them, the girl and the lad. I will always support them, and I will never stop them from doing what they want to do. And having the life I had with my parents, they've made me feel that way, and so I would never stop them from doing what they want to do.
Did your parents ever see you fight? I mean, did they come along to
you? No. You see, when they were around, I trained, but they would have made me fight. See, I didn't fight, and they ended up going to Jamaica. Right. I didn't start, taking that serious, but they were very strict on stuff like that, about fighting and that. And I wish I could have when they was around, but nah, no. And because of not being able to do that sort of thing while they were around, I'll never stop my kids from doing what they want to do. They can always do what they want to do. Yeah, and I'll always support them. Always support them.
Which is the most important thing.
Yeah. Never have a negative attitude to anything they do, and always be there and support them 100%.
Great outlook that is, Arv. I just want to add that in. It's a great outlook on life. Your kiddies.
I think that comes from your social media as well, Arv. I mean, whenever you're posting things on Twitter and that, they're always very positive, and you post a lot of great videos. All the fights. I would recommend people go to have a look.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about it, so I always try and put up, look around and find good things and post it and share it with all you guys on the Twitter. No, a little group.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Just quickly then, we haven't got a lot of time left now, guys. We're already nearly up to an hour, believe it or not. Time's flying.
You joking?
No,
that went bloody quick.
I know. Excuse our swearing. No, but I'm joking.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Just a bit shocked. I'm not a man what swear, to be quite honest. I never swear, you know.
We nearly got an hour without one in. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, who's your, when we're talking about the current boxing scene, who's your favourite fighter at the moment? Who's someone that you really you sit up and you think, I want to watch that person?
Oh, who, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, there's quite a few good boxers, isn't there?
Have you got a
few. I mean, there's quite a few. You know, I like the one who got robbed against one of my favourite fighters is the one who got robbed against Canelo. He's a Cuban. Can you remember his name? It's Landy Lara. It's Landy Lara.
Oh yeah. Yes, Lara.
Yeah. Now he's one of my favourite fighters, but he don't seem to fight. He's another one that don't seem to get many fights, and not many people want to see him because he's not one of them guys who's going to rush in and scrap and take a few punches and get punches back. He's a great boxer, isn't he?
Yeah.
And a lot of crowds like to see the fights when you're going to get involved and take a few shots. Sometimes, a lot of boxing fans like to see someone get the hell punched out of them. They're not really into the art of it, are they? It's not every boxing fan what's into the art of boxing.
Didn't Lara knock out Canelo's brother?
What was that?
I think Lara, didn't he knock out, or it might just be the same namesake. Has Canelo got a brother called Ramon?
Canelo's got a brother, I'm sure, actually, yeah. Did he knock out Canelo's brother? Didn't he?
Lara, I'm sure Lara...
No, he did. No, he knocked him out, didn't he? He stopped the brother, didn't he?
A couple of rounds, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I like Lara. I remember that. Yeah. Good fighter, yeah. That's a fighter I like. I like Daniel Jacobs. That's another fighter I like, American fighter.
And what about the women's scene? I mean, the women's scene seems to be coming up. It's really up and coming at the minute. I mean, it's really
I mean that young girl from Warsaw, very good fighter.
What, the one that Richie and I sort of presumed?
Yeah,
not going to say we rub it in and say that we predicted she.
Who said? Yeah, you said she'd win, and I don't think, guys. You know something? Listen, guys. I know she's achieved a lot in kickboxing, world champion.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she's had a. I don't think she's had a amateur fight, has she?
No, I believe it was just kickboxing previous to the
That's right.
boxing. Yeah.
But there's a guy like her from Lichfield.
Right.
What's his name? He won a British title outright. He has. He's from Lichfield, and he was a world champion kickboxer, and he never had no amateur experience.
Yeah.
But he was a world champion kickboxer, and he's world class. He's won the British outright. He's won a Commonwealth title, and he wants to move on.
He's doing right well, yeah.
Brad Foster.
Right, okay.
There's also another famous fella from back in the mid-90s. Wasn't he from kickboxing? Pele Reid. He won a British.
Pele Reid.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Pele Reid. He was also a kickboxer, wasn't he?
Well, Klitschko was, wasn't he? Vitaly Klitschko.
Actually, for Klitschko, actually knocked out Klitschko with a round kick. And if you look on YouTube, you'll see that fight. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's on YouTube. Yeah.
He was from your neck of the woods, wasn't he? He was from.
That's right. He was a Handsworth guy. You know, just down the road from where I'm from. Good fighter, wasn't he? Done well for a while, you know. But I remember
the frilly pants, frilly shorts he used to wear. And then
that's right. Like
they all used to wear it. That's what they called. They were the Spice Boys era, wasn't it?
The Ingle guys. They were. They wore them. Ryan Rose, he wore them as well. Yeah. You know, they were good fighters, weren't they? The old Ingle guys, weren't they? Fought a lot of them. Lost against a lot of them.
Do you know who else I like? Do you know who else I like currently? Jamal Charlo. I think he's good.
Charlo. Yeah. Very, very good fighter, eh?
Yeah, Jamal Charlo.
Unfortunately, guys, we're running out of time. But before we do I want to have a quick chat with Steve, because obviously he's going to tell us about an upcoming show we've got for the Football Fan Zone. But before we do that, just quickly, predictions for Saturday night for obviously White v Povetkin, and then we've got the rematch with Katie Taylor and the name escapes me. Who's her opponent, Richie? Do you remember?
Pursoon.
That's it.
That's it.
Pursoon. I mean, what are your predictions for those fights, guys? Arv, who you got for the?
Okay. For the Dillian White fight, it wouldn't surprise me if he probably knocks out. What's his name again? Povetkin.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. Might knock him out. I'll go for the 7th round. He'll knock him out. That's my prediction. The Katie Taylor one, I'll sit on the fence for that one, because that fight. I thought Pursoon won that. You know.
Yeah, I thought she won the first one. How about you, Richie? Who you got?
Right, I'm going to go with.
I'm going to jot this down because you always get it right, so I'm going to put a bet on. But
I'm going to go with Dillian White. No, I'm not. I'm going to go with Povetkin to win.
On points?
No, I'm going to go with Dillian White. I'm going to go with Dillian White.
Go with White, yeah.
I'm going to expect him to win on points, but it's going to be a ding dong battle, right?
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy fight. It'll be a hard fight.
And I'm going to go with Pursoon. To cause the upset. That's going to be mine. Right, and let me just get you there, because another guy's fighting on Saturday as well. I don't know if anyone knows, but Sean Porter is coming back on Saturday as well.
Oh, that's right.
You're right.
And that's right. And you know something, guys? And I think he'll win. And you know something? Can I say something? Sorry for the butting, guys. I can't help this. But listen, Sean Porter is a very hard-working fighter, right? Well, I don't believe he's got 3 losses, and it's hard to say. Them 3 losses he's got that he lost, because I don't think he did.
It's a great fight, and also on Saturday. Sorry to chuck it in, guys.
No, you chuck him in, mate. Chuck him in. What you're here for.
Do you know Joe Smith Jr.?
Yes,
Joe Smith Jr.
He's fighting Aleda Alvarez.
Okay.
You know that? Alvarez.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
His name, sorry. Who fought Kovalev? He had 2 fights with Kovalev.
But he won one and lost one, didn't he?
Yeah, he stopped Kovalev. Yeah,
that's right. Stopped him, and then he lost some points in the return, didn't he?
He also sparked out. Who's the guy Froch beat? Lucian Bute.
That's right. That's right.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, he's fighting Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I think he'll beat Joe Smith Jr. and I also think Sean Porter will win.
And me.
Yeah,
that Sean Porter the upset.
I love that Sean Porter.
He's a hell of a fighter, really. I mean, again, probably a bit underrated, but maybe that's a bit controversial. But yeah.
Hey, guys, look at
what was that, guys? Sorry, you cut out.
What's Steve's prediction?
I'm going with Dillian White with a left hook knockout, 4th round, against a man that's probably the twilight of his career and many fights left in him. I think. I don't know if you guys have sort of noticed, but in the conferences and stuff, and the sort of the chats and stuff that Eddie Hearn organised, the shape that Dillian White has got himself into during this period is a world apart from his last fight.
Yeah, totally agree, Steve. I've been looking at him coming off the plane, and he looks in phenomenal shape. He does.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah. I'd have to agree with you. I'm going to go with White.
He tipped the scale was over 20 stone in his last fight or thereabouts.
Yeah,
and he's a large chunk lighter than that. I just think he's just going to be too good for Povetkin in my mind.
Yeah. No,
and then I think we're going to see a Richie special with Katie Taylor and Mittoo, with Katie Taylor getting that precedence like she did last time. So I don't think she won the fight, and I think she'll get the decision.
Yeah, I mean, Katie Taylor was very skilled, but that girl was bloody hell. Sorry for swearing.
I think Bloody's all right. I think we're right with Bloody. But, I don't think we get taken off air for Bloody. But I've got a bloody finger, but it's one of those things. But I've just stabbed it. I've got a bloody finger. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I think White. I don't know. I'm really sitting on the fence with White and Povetkin because Povetkin's always got that equaliser. I know he's getting on in years,
No, he's still a very good, very good fighter.
Dangerous move.
Very.
I mean, I know when he fought,
let's not forget Povetkin against Price.
Yeah. I mean, his price.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, boys, but
and a lot of people forget about him beating.
He drew with Hunter, didn't he? He drew with Hunter recently. Yeah, he beat Fury. He drew with Hunter.
I think I beat him all. I think it was Fury's pro Matchroom debut, and I think they kind of brought Povetkin over as a name.
Yeah.
Without realising, then he absolutely skilled Fury.
Yeah.
That's right.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. But
so.
Oh, we've lost Steve. I think Steve's disconnected. Let me try and get him back. Hold on. Bear with me, boys. Keep chatting if you feel the need.
Yeah. I'm here, my friend. I'm here.
Yeah. What was I going to say to you also? Right? Do you remember? You fought a guy named Lee Meager.
Lee Meager, yeah, I fought Lee Meager. And he went on and won the British title, didn't he? He went on and won the British. Yeah.
You need to be writing yourself a book, mate. Honestly.
Me and Lee fought. I think me and Lee fought in Coventry over 6 threes, and I was very light then when I fought Lee. I wasn't very heavy. You know what I mean? Because Lee was yeah. I was still a better lightweight then. You know what I mean? And a good fighter, and he went on and won a British as well. He won a British.
He was,
Yeah. Good fighter.
You fought them all, you really.
Sometimes he's on Twitter. Lovely guy. Sometimes he'll pop up.
I think Steve's back. You back, Steve?
I don't know what happened there.
I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, I think you just cut us off because you were getting bored. I'm joking. Just quickly, guys, I'm going to have to end it there with the boxing chat, but I agree with you guys.
Okay, guys.
But
nice one.
I expect Arv needs to get off because you're standing out in the cold in Wales and you're probably getting a bit fed up now because we planned this interview a good few times.
No, pleasure talking to you guys. Pleasure, mate.
And you're coming back on the show, aren't you, Arv? I mean, we've got you down as you're coming back.
Speak to you soon.
But take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Arv. Cheers.
Nice one, guys.
Take care.
Take care now.
Before we move on to the next slot, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what's coming up on Radio Willingdon over the next few days. Tomorrow we've got Salisbury and Shepherd Show. That's something to have a drink with at lunchtime. And then we've got the Paul Hayes presenting the Sunday Love Boat Show on the 23rd. Monday we've got the Monday Mix with Jane Reed. I think that one comes from Bulgaria. And then we've got the 24th again, Monday evening, the Monday Night Rock Marathon. Tuesday the 25th, we've got Indie Hours. And then on the 26th, we've got, that's the Wednesday, we've got the 80s show with Dawn. And the 27th, the Thursday, we've got Country and Western show with Craig. And then right through to Friday, we've got Paul Hayes again with Dude, It's Friday. I believe that's quite an entertaining show, a bit of comedy, a few quizzes. They're all good shows, so if you get the opportunity to tune in, it's www.radiowillingdon.com, so do tune in and listen to those guys. So before we wrap up, Steve, are you back with us now? You're here, I believe.
I am here.
Just before we go, obviously over the next few weeks we've got quite a few exciting guests coming on to Sport Anarium, and I just wanted you to give a quick update on some work you've been doing, busy being there on social media, getting some guests in for our football fan zone, which is coming up on the 5th of September. Do you want to give us a bit of an overview of that one?
Yeah, so I've worked hard in getting an eclectic mix, try to sort of sway away from the top teams, but I thought it would be a good idea to bring in a couple of people that have come up with a promoted team. So there's a guy from West Brom, there's Apollo Junction representing Leeds. I'm really excited about them coming on.
Leeds.
They're an up and coming band, so that's nice. And then I've got the 2 Manchester clubs, but also really excited about Joe Perry coming on, who's a professional snooker player but an avid Arsenal fan.
Excellent.
So that's going to be really good. A nice eclectic mix of people, different views and different aspects in terms of aspirations. So overall, I think it's going to be a good mix. And then you've got yourself and myself to throw in that little kind of rivalry.
What we're aiming for is a bit of banter, I believe, aren't we? We want a bit of a friendly rivalry between the clubs. And why we support what we do. I mean, obviously, I've said earlier you're a Crystal Palace fan, and we do forgive you for that one. We're still mates. But and obviously I'm a Brighton fan, so that's it's gonna cause some fun along the way, I'm sure. As we've been looking at the fixtures lists earlier, and obviously Brighton are back on Monday the 14th of September against Chelsea, and Crystal Palace, I believe you're back against. Is it Southampton?
Southampton at home, first fixture. It's also going to be interesting to see what those guys, that sort of half a dozen accounts and people, of their view in terms of what they believe that their clubs are going to achieve in the season. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
I mean, generally, this is our first show today, obviously, but we are looking to put together quite an exciting sort of programme of stuff going forward. So we're all going to be working behind the scenes, making sure that we bring you all the best in news and sport, boxing, football, cricket, whatever it may be. We're going to try and make it a bit of fun. But like I say, the key thing for us is trying to get the fans to interact with us, isn't it? So what we want to do is get people following us on Twitter, especially at Sportanarium. If people can follow that one, I know that Steve, Arv, and Richie have been out there spreading the word about us. So do follow, and if you want to get in touch, because we're going to be doing a lot of questions and answers, especially with the boxing and the football. And like I say, when we get these guys on that Steve has arranged, we're hoping to have a lot of fun that day, and it'd be great to have people kind of coming on and having a chat, wouldn't it?
100%. Looking forward to it.
So I think for this evening, we've got to get off air now because we're sort of overrunning now. But it's been a pleasure to chat with all of you guys.
Yeah.
And
you too, guys.
Obviously, I look forward to catching up with you all in the next few days, ready for next week's show.
Okie dokie.
Nice one.
So that's it from us, and thank you for listening. It will be available. Obviously, it's live on the internet at www.radiowillingdon.com, and we will also be putting together a podcast that we will be putting onto the Twitter account for people that maybe want to tune in at a later date and have a listen to what we've been chatting about. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon. I'll say good night, guys.
Nice one, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See you later, guys.
Cheers.
See you later, fellas.
See you.
Bye. Bye.